everyone, today Alarming. This movie, it is on Netflix, and this movie, it is kind of like a horror slash comedy movie. It is from Indonesia. I guess this movie did came out in 2025 in December, but this movie finally it is on Netflix. And after watching this movie, what do I think about it? First of all, this movie's concept and what is it about? Overall, I thought this movie was quite funny, and it is quite, especially some of the costume this movie, I found it quite interesting watching this movie. Overall, it was kind of like wow. So this movie starts with, we see these two people, they're kind of like a witch, I will say. They do, black magic. They worship the devil. This movie starts with, and they're kind of finding this skull, and they use this skull to put a black magic spell on the government cabinet. And we see the whole, the cabinet ministers, they get under this black magic spell, except the president. So when this group of people, like this, I guess this people group, they suspect that something is going on in the government, some kind of black magic going on. So we see this movie, this group of people, they start an investigation, and like they try to find out what happened here. And like same time we see these two like the black magic witch, they need to sacrifice 8 souls to the devil to get like more power. So I guess this movie, end of it, we see these 8 people who are doing investigation, they end up getting them for the sacrifice in this movie. And yeah, as I said, this movie, it is kind of like a comedy slash horror. And overall, this movie, it was quite interesting watch. But it's not perfect by any mean, I will say, because I personally did like all the magic scene and all the black magic, how it was like getting created and how they were casting the spell. I really enjoyed those scenes in this movie. As I was saying, some of the costumes, they look really good. So with the set pieces, and also, like, I guess the makeup, hair and makeup in this movie, because this movie did show the audience a lot of, especially the demon looking stuff. And their, CGI looks convincing. Although it is quite red looking, but I would say some of the CGI did look convincing. And also these two witch who are like casting all the black magic, their characters are, I must say, they're really funny in this movie. Like, they have this banter with each other, and every time they're on a screen and their jokes, I found it quite funny that I was laughing. Also, I found this 8 character, they like, especially this 8 group of people, their character, they're quite funny with each other. They do this name calling and their banter. Also, I really liked. I did like all the character. Overall, yeah. So this movie, it isn't dubbed. So I was watching the original language. So it can be, I guess, hard to read the subtitle and understand what they're saying. But still, I was like, whoa, these 2 characters, although they are evil end of the day, but they're quite funny, I must say. I did like their characters. They were quite good in the role they're playing. However, this movie does have a big portion of it about, the politician and the politics and all this. Although some of this politician was also funny. This movie really a good blend between funny and, like, it isn't like a scary horror movie. I have seen other Indonesian movie. I wouldn't say this is kind of like a horror comedy you are watching, but I must say, still some of this politician character, they are funny. But I was not enjoying all the political scene in this movie, if I'm being honest. That is the reason this movie is not getting high review for me, because like, every time this movie I was watching, behind the scene about politics and everything, I was not entertained. I was not like finding it interesting. However, every time everything, like this movie, everything to do with the magic, they're really interesting and entertaining. I was entertained. I was laughing. I was just like, whoa, these are really funny. Although the main reason overall, I feel like the center, all the actor in this movie, they were quite good. They are funny, and although I guess some of the joke is a little bit over the top. If you are not used to it, this kind of over the top joke, you will find them like a little bit annoying. But still, I thought overall, these characters are in this movie, they are funny and interesting. And some of the magic scene, the way it was done, and some of the spell, the way it was done, I found it interesting. But as I said, this movie does have a big portion of it about politician, their corruption, what they're doing. Those scenes, unfortunately, I did not like that much. I just found them to be kind of like not that good, honestly. But overall, I did enjoy some part of this movie. So I'm not gonna say this movie is bad, but it isn't. But I see this movie got bad review from the people. I don't think this movie is that bad. I just said, some of the part does drag out a lot, but overall, it is quite interesting watch. It was for me, and that was my thought on this movie. Let me know in the comment what do you think about this movie. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget other reviews on other Indonesian movie and show. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, and I see you next time. Please take